Borusia again leads the line with example and distinction for Borusia Dortmund. Again leads the line with example and distinction for the average positions from the game so far. And I guess here, Felix, no great surprise. The right there, Union, a team have been very compact. They've sat very deep, but with a definite front two in Anso Ninic. They've shown ambition too when they can get forward to do that. And when they have done, they've given Dortmund one or two problems.
Yes, you saw the possession from Dortmund over 60%, but really they had the ball where Union wanted them to have the ball. So there was nothing dangerous in play apart from that little bit piece of magic from J02 and the strength of Girassi that finally broke the deadlock. Otherwise, a good away performance, and they're still in the game. It will be interesting to see when they open up, when they're trying to change something to be more direct and to get Dortmund into more trouble.
Welcome back. Well, half-time here, it is 1-0 to Die Schwarz-Gelben. Karim Adeyemi among the options on the bench today for Die Schwarz-Gelben. Adeyemi, one of the players left out. 3 changes from that draw with St. Pauli last weekend for Borusia Dortmund, as we see Lars Ricken take his seat in the director's box. And here, neither coach has made a change in terms of players for the second half. You spoke there at half-time about Felix Union when they'll open things up, and when they do that, of course they take risks and then will maybe be at danger of a second Dortmund goal.
Yes, and it will be so interesting to see when they decide to do it, because like I said, they had a really good away game. They kept Dortmund under control, and now it's the decision of the coach. When is the time to be more attacking as well? And then you will have the trouble of defending Dortmund and also Dortmund's bench, because they have guys like Adeyemi with a pace that can really hurt you then.
Here come the home team. Well, Stefan Baumgartner, a former striker, the Union coach, is normally a guy who does like to go for it and is adventurous. Niko Kovac's team, though, have that 1-goal lead. Girassi with it. Fairly quiet home debut so far for Joe Bellingham. Mind you, his brother didn't score until his 24th game in the Bundesliga. And Girassi, the difference maker, scored in the cup and match day 1, the draw last weekend. He missed a penalty too against St. Pauli. But today on the score sheet again, 41 goals and 9 assists now in only 53 matches in Dortmund colours.
Negri y amarillos de Latinoamérica, a punto de comenzar el segundo tiempo. Disculpen la demora, que no pudimos conectar antes.
Great battling qualities to earn that win over Stuttgart. And again here, it'll need Felix a very dogged and resolute, and again a battling display to take a point here if they can find an equaliser.
Yes, but as long as it's only one, also as a player, you have that feeling then that you're in the game, because they know that the first half was good, so they have to be a little bit patient and see how far they can push forward.
Here's Khedira for Trimmel. The cross for Ansar too long, and there's Sko being shielded there by Jan J02.
Bueno, como pueden ver, nuestro Dortmund va ganando 1-0. El gol fue marcado por Girassi, segundo gol de Girassi en la temporada. Lo marcó en las postrimerías del primer tiempo. Primer juego de la temporada en casa. Uy, Dios mío.
And Kobel standing firm. Here now Robert Sko on the ball. Sko back in. And there Kobel was sharp and
sacadón de Kobel.
Yes, the delivery was top on the spot, and the header was also brilliant as well.
Here they come again. Robert Sko, deflection, another corner. And this for Union Berlin is a very strong start to the second half.
And here you can see the delivery's top, and it's a free header, and he really goes, he bends himself. The power is good, and it's also a little bit maybe onto the man, so Kobe can react. But great chance for Union.
So only a goal down. Now they attack the yellow wall end here at Signal Iduna Park. Another Trimmel corner for Union Berlin. And there's Illich again now. It's Water. And the Dortmund old boy here, Tom Water. What a chance for a goal to make it 1-1.
Now again, the delivery into the mixer. They can fight for it. Illich again. And there, go for it. Believe in yourself. Hit it strong. If you overhit it, no worries. But he's trying a little bit too slow.
Daniel Svensson. Svensson's cross. And it's picked up here by goalkeeper Renault for Union Berlin. And on the bench of the home team includes Pascal Gross, who got 4 assists when the sides met here last in February, as well as the pace of Adeyemi and Campbell. And also the new man in from Chelsea, again returning here, Carney Chukwuemeka. That loan last year now turned into a permanent transfer to Borussia Dortmund. Here's Querfeld. On to Renault. Union's bench contains Oliver Burke, who once off the bench got a winner here early season for Werder Bremen in a famous comeback from 2-0 down to 3-2 in the game's closing minutes. Querfeld. Now Duki towards Anza, who took it well. Held up here by Anton. Ilias Anza. Trimmel's cross helped on and right across the goal again.
Se paseó por el área ese balón.
Since half-time have begun this second half like an express train.
And the balls from Trimmel are really good. He puts him in early. There he gets lucky with the deflection. But all other balls, and also for the strikers to know, my right wing back, he just puts it in. You can be there to speculate on that ball.
Daniel Svensson here for Dortmund. 1-0 looks at the moment a very, very tenuous lead for Borussia Dortmund. This is Aaron Anselmino. Into Brandt. Bayer back to Bensebaini. On to Anton. Anselmino. Brandt. Sabitzer. Jan Koto. Sabitzer again here for Jan Koto once more. Way beyond Water. Up to Illich. Brandt. Space to work in here too for Bensebaini. Ahead he's got Svensson. It's with Daniel Svensson for Dortmund. Ahead Bellingham wants it. Goes back instead here to Valdemar Anton. Girassi. Difference maker so far. Bellingham. And it's Kral here covering. It's Querfeld, and that's well worked here to get the ball to Kral again. The ball though off the shins, breaks for Maxi Bayer for Dortmund. Bayer, Brandt, Bayer again. Just stepped on the ball there at the crucial moment, really, Bayer. And Renault away. Well, should the way the game's begun since half-time, Felix, should it really concern Kovac here? This team have not really got going since the restart.
It's been a really good start from Union, and the only thing that has been missing is the goal, because the delivery from the crosses was good, from the set pieces, and what Dortmund need now is possession of the ball to calm the game down.
Ansar giving Bensebaini a problem. Ansar those 2 goals last week, and again today a very bright performance from the young striker. Only 20. Last season 6 goals for Paderborn was his best ever return in terms of goal scoring in the professional ranks. Now Trimmel with the throw-in. Union knocking on the door since half-time. In here by Trimmel towards Querfeld, away by Girassi. Khedira. Trimmel's cross. Now Skull back in a high one here towards Duki. By with the bouncing ball, the breakout pass for Girassi ahead. Brandt is there, but play called back. I think a head injury again. I think it's Duki who's down here for Union.
And it's again Bellingham involved. And again, it's just the head, so nothing intentional from no side.
Duki, a player much admired by clubs away from Köpenick, former Vitesse Arnhem captain. As I said earlier, at set plays is a noted handful in terms of goal scoring. Diego Leite, the Portuguese defender, is currently on the sidelines ahead of, it appears, a move away. I've been linked with a move for Jerison Jusdex of Mainz, who's playing at the moment for Sporting in Portugal. So Duki's okay to carry on. He'll be checked out on the sidelines just to make sure he is able to resume, but looks okay. Ndeyemi, Chukwumeka, Gross, Mecha. Reyes on there. The reserves options open to Niko Kovac for the second half to change things should they feel the need. Zabitzer. Back to Aaron Anselmino. Ben Sebaini, Svensson. Anton quickly pressured by Ilyas Anza. Anselmino to feed Zabitzer with room to maybe move into here for Dortmund. It's Marcel Zabitzer, who's come a long way here onto Jan Koto. The cross came off his own teammate there from Zabitzer, off Jan Koto. It's Harbour now under pressure. Trimmel boxed in by Daniel Svensson. But Trimmel, so much experience to work that one away for Union Berlin. Up to Illich. Have Dortmund maybe just drawn the sting here? They've survived that early second half flurry from Union and maybe now have begun to settle themselves into the second half.
It looks a little bit more stable now. You can see that the first phase is over from Union and it steadies down a little bit. Dortmund's patience now against the ball with the lead, it's okay. In the first half, for me, it was too passive, but now they have that lead where they can be comfortable to actually sit back and let Union do something, that they have space for the counter-attacks.
You can see the stats from the second half's first 10 minutes. You can see Union 3 shots to 0, possession very even as well, with that very lively start since the restart to the game from Stefan Baumgart's Union Berlin. The stats don't lie. Here's Water. Robert Skull. To Ansa. Oh, Leopold Querfeld. Trimmel. Now Girassi, control was really good with a difficult ball. Girassi for Dortmund still. Girassi's shot on target. And again, he is the man to lead the fight for Dortmund this afternoon. Up to Illich. Alex Kral. Ahead has scored to his left. Here is the Dane. Robert Skull. Anton with the clearance. Now Water onto Harbour initially. Kral, that's a good pass. Ansar. Flag stays down for now. Ansar giving Anselmino a problem, but the Argentine responding well for Dortmund.
And that is a great tackle, because he was beaten for pace and he has to win the ball there if he tackles like that. Otherwise, Ansar is gone. So he really goes for it, and it's perfect timing.
He made that one first-half mistake to let Illich in, but otherwise he's had a very solid debut so far, Aaron Anselmino. Jan and Nico Schlotterbeck still on the injured list. Youngster Filippo Mane, of course, sent off last week, so serves a ban for this one today. Anton. Here is Aaron Anselmino. Girassi's touch lovely. Maxi Bayer back on here. Girassi again.
¡Oh! Golazo de Girassi.
Well, he today is playing with a swagger of a player rich in form, full of belief and full of goals. 2 today. He got 4 when the sides met last. He's halfway towards that tally again this afternoon already.
Picando el baloncito.
Dortmund 2 clear.
We said it before, as soon as you get him involved, it opens up the space because he drags players out. That flick is ridiculous. And then the 1-2 is perfect. Nicely done by Bayer. And the finish is so calm, so clinical, absolutely magnificent.
La habilitación fue de Svensson. No, mentira, de Bayer. Bayer que está fungiendo hoy de segundo atacante.
2-0, and Girassi has begun this season, as he finished the last one, red hot for Die Schwarz-Gelben. Think about Girassi, though, as a player has developed, Felix. When he was at Köln, he was a player, he was a kid, but looked raw and didn't have that belief. Now he plays with the presence of a proper number 9, doesn't he?
No, it's unbelievable. Like I said, when you look at a number 9 position, what he gives to the team, how he can combine the attacks. Look at that flick, the movement, the finish. He has everything for that position, which at the moment is one of the best in world football.
Girassi, again a good touch. Brand now Bayer to light the turbos maybe here. Trimmel won't get there, Bayer will. And Duki comes across to make sure the door is at least closed partially. And back here for Svensson now, comes to Zabitzer. Bellingham. Svensson, Girassi. Again, the touch has a real silkiness, a real touch of quality about everything he does on the field at the moment. Now Bellingham back onto Girassi. Brandt is there. Julian Brandt for Dortmund. Marcel Sabitzer. Jan Koto. Anselmino goes in heavily. And Kral comes off the worst there. Anselmino in with a rather hefty tackle there on Alex Kral.
Yeah, it's a little bit too late and he goes for it. But no studs involved.
Look at those stats though. 5 shots on target, 7 shots overall, 2 goals. Serhou Girassi is a player we can say at the moment is at the peak of his powers for Dortmund, really is. And they love him here.
And what you have to mention is he holds the ball up so well. So you saw the possession earlier, like you mentioned. It gives everyone time to follow up the attack, and this is so crucial in that number 9 position to have that quality, and he has that as well, plus the goal-scoring record.
Yeah, no doubt he and Harry Kane are the current 2 premier number 9s in the Bundesliga. Here is Tom Water. Kverfeld. But score. Well, 4 goals at Union's expense last season. We see another hat-trick maybe here for Girassi in this one today. He has scored 3 previous hat-tricks in the German top flight. Moving towards Anzar. Here's Khedira. Harborough. 4-goal haul here. Last year he scored 3 goals in one half, which is the famed Lupenreiner hat-trick, the German perfect hat-trick of 3 goals scored back-to-back in a single half. Got a corner here which Trimmel is on for Union Berlin. Enzo waits in the middle. In by Trimmel, away by Guirassy, back in by Harbour here. But now the break. Brandt for Sabitzer. For Joe Bellingham. Guirassy. Anton now to Ben Sebaini here for Dortmund. Wu Yongjong and Tim Skarka are going to come on to offer some fresh legs in the attacking sense for Union shortly. Bellingham for Ben Sebaini. Daniel Svensson. Guirassy. Also, we saw that last corner, the way he also defends the team. He's always there to head the ball away at set place for the defence as well, Guirassy.
Yeah, it's massive. Like I said, if you have someone like that also in defence, because against a team like Union, you need that. You need to defend set pieces at a very high level, and he gives you that on that end as well.
So Kral and Skarka replaced by Jong.
Hay sustitución
Tim Skarka here.
En el Unión Berlín.
Double change for Union as they chase the game. So Trimmel and Kral, the players off. I can see also getting warmed up there to come on with his shirt off is Andras Schäfer, midfielder. Anton. Anselmino.
Entró Tim Sharkley sustituyendo a Christopher Trimmel y sale Alex Kral y reemplaza a Wu Yeong-jeong.
Svensson. Are there more goals here before we're done? It's Aaron Anselmino here for Dortmund. Anselmino for Guirassy. Up now to Sabitzer. Brandt. This is Bayer. They'll play around 25 more minutes. Bellingham and Brandt again. Brandt. Little back heel on here from Bayer towards Sabitzer. Deflection favouring Dortmund here. It's Bellingham now to Brandt once
Berlín
more.
refugiado
Union had every
en su
player
área.
back in their defensive station here to just deny space to Dortmund's attackers. Bellingham, Guirassy. Game with an ominous feel now for Union Berlin. That second goal has just changed the game's complexion, Felix.
Yes, for sure, especially when you come out of half-time and you do so well, and basically the goal is against the run of play, just because of the individual quality from Guirassy and Bayer as well. And now you're trailing the game, and it looks like Dortmund are getting more and more comfortable. They're pushing Union backwards, so at the moment they're in absolute cruise control.
Brandt. Now it's come to Anton for Dortmund. Marcel Sabitzer. Jan Koto to attack Robert Sko. Sabitzer. Well, they let a 2-goal lead slip late on last week. That draw at St. Pauli, 3-3 from in the last 5 minutes, 3-1 up. But a red card for Filippo Mané was the moment which changed that game really away from Dortmund at the Milan tour last weekend. Here's Ben Sebaini for Bellingham. He's had a quiet game, Bellingham. He's not quite been at his best so far today. But has Van Brandt here. On to Sabitzer. In towards Bayer, cleared by Duki for Union. Back to Anselmino. As they again move the ball around and In doing so, move Union Berlin around as well. Brandt coming out to Bellingham once more. Yellow shirts on the front foot, led here by Ben Sebaini. Into Brandt. Ben Sebaini with the shot, which is held down low by Renault. With watered down injured meanwhile for Union.
And Ben Sebaini just follows through, and it's a hard check. I think if it would have been checked, it would have been a foul in the end.
The race for the Torjäger Kanone, the top scorer's cannon, is already heating up. Guirassy with a share of the lead. 3 players on 3 goals. Guirassy, Michael Olise, and a certain Harry Kane, who's been the winner in the last 2 seasons. Guirassy, 21 league goals last term. Has begun this season again, though, for Dortmund in very sharp and lethal fashion. And again today with a couple of goals as well to his name. So Union plan 2 more changes. Oliver Burke is going to come on, as well as Derek Kern as well, I think. Kern is a rapid left-sided player. Maybe Robert Sko will make way for him. Burke is a striker, again with good pace about him. Couto. For Anselmino here. And now Bellingham. Guirassy took it well, as he always seems to do. Still Serhou Guirassy. Kovac will, I think, soon as well replace Bellingham with Mecha in midfield. Here's Anselmino. Jan Couto. Anton now for Dortmund. Here's Bellingham, who is just going to come off very soon. This may be his last involvement in the game. Jan Couto in towards Joe Bellingham here. What have you made of Bellingham's performance today, Felix?
He was sitting deeper than I expected. He was basically playing like the number 6 in front of the defense. So Sabitzer was a little bit more attacking, but I said in the first half, for me, both of them were too deep. But when you watch the game, he was in control, very quiet, easy passes, but all around, no big mistakes. So this is what you need in that position, to be stable, and he gave that to the team. So he had an okay debut.
So Joe Bellingham departs. Union have made their double change. Oliver Burke on to lead their line with Derek Kern as well. 2 players, as I say, offer great pace for Union Berlin. As Mecha is on here for Joe Bellingham, and his home debut is complete. Illich flicks on. Couto. So Ansar, the player they've taken off to accommodate Oliver Burke alongside Andrei Illich. Confirmation that indeed Mecha is on for Bellingham. Anton. Aaron Anselmino for Dortmund. Julian Brandt into traffic. Well, Dortmund know now their opposition for the Champions League phase, which was drawn at the end of last week. The home games here will see them take on Inter, Villarreal, Bodø Glimt of Norway, and the Spanish side Athletic Club of Bilbao. There's Skarka. The away games they'll face will include a trip to Manchester to face Erling Haaland and Man City. They also have trips there with Juventus and Tottenham and FC Copenhagen. Here, a 2-goal lead in their first home game of the league season, to build on last week's 3-3 draw away to St. Pauli. This man's double the difference. Away by Kvørfeldt. Ilic. Ilic again, the through ball here for Burke to chase. It's Oliver Burke. Anselmino across to win that ball superbly for Dortmund. Kobol's pass away here for Bensebaini, but we saw there, Felix, that Anselmino may have played only a handful of minutes for Chelsea, but they're looking very sharp in his first game for Dortmund.
The timing of the tackle was spot on again because the weight of the pass was good. We all know about the pace of Berg, so he had to be spot on, and he was.
And Koto's cross is too near to goalkeeper Renault. Khedira. Khedira, Ilic in behind here, and again the Argentine there to win the ball. There is a flag anyway, but Anselmino once more there was clearly the back switched on for Dortmund.
And even though it's given offside, that gives you confidence as a defender, because you know you would have been there anyways. Again with a perfectly timed tackle. And here you see it, that is last ditch. If you're too late, he's gone. That can be a penalty or that can be a red card. So you have to be very, very clinical in your tackle, and he was perfectly on time there.
Anselmino, a very strong debut then. As I say, played just 3 minutes for Chelsea, the Club World Cup in the summer. You can see his data so far. Very strong first game in his first week as a player here with Die Schwarz-Gelben. And he is loaned from Chelsea, but he's really made his mark so far today. Made one first half mistake to give Ilic a chance, but apart from that, he's been almost immaculate. Here he is again. Here comes Anton. Into Maxi Bayer now. It's picked up by Bensebaini for Dortmund. Brandt for Daniel Svensson. Bayer's back heel. Brandt again here. Nowhere beyond Kvørfeldt. That's Mecha for Sabitzer. Girassi. Duki across to make sure the chance was not there. Baumgart's men, who began the second half so well, unable to find a way through. There'll be a double switch here. We're going to see Chukwuemeka, but first we're going to see coming on Julian Reasson, and he will replace, I think, the debutant Anselmino very shortly. Here's Yannick Haberer. Anton. Sabitzer. Anselmino. For Felix Mecha to play 15 minutes of the game. 2-0, Girassi with both. The game now they're managing at 2-0 up. They've certainly, I think, broken Union Berlin with that second goal. Here's Jan Koto again. Sabitzer. Mecha. Sabitzer, great ball dropped in here for the chasing Jan Koto, but just a little bit too heavy for the Brazilian. Now that change can happen. Union 2 down. Reasson and Chukwuemeka coming on. It'll be Anselmino coming off. And
sale Anselmino.
Tell us about his debut. What have you made of Anselmino's first game as a Dortmund defender?
Very good.
Buen partido de Anselmino.
You have to be lucky at times as a defender that if you make a mistake, it's not costly with the goal. He had that luck at one occasion. Apart from that, really, really good. Calm on the ball. With the tackle,
sale Maximilian Bayer y entra
really good timing.
Chukwuemeka.
So really, really good debut, home debut for him.
So Chukwuemeka is on for Bayer. That's a double switch. He's now turned last season's loan into a permanent transfer.
Después de ese periplo, que si va, que si viene, que si se queda, que si se va, y bueno, ya está con nosotros.
So Jan Koto throws in for Dortmund. He got the assist for the first goal for Girassi. The second was Bayer's flick. Away here by Tom Water for Union. So 3 goals across match days 1 to 2 for Serhou Girassi. at the moment. There may be more before we're done today, though. J02 for Julian Brandt. Now it's with Julian Rezon. It'll be a 4-point start from 2 match days if they do win this. Here's Chukwuemeka. And back by Berg for Union. That's Kverfeld. And Jong back to Duki. So 13 to play. There's on now to push on. Former Union player himself, of course, scored in the loss at Union last season, a 2-1 defeat in Köpenick in October. And Sabaini. It's Chukwuemeka for Mecha. Julian Rezon, who has scored twice against his former side in previous games for Dortmund. Here is Rezon. In the centre he's got Zabitzer and Girassi. Goes out now to J02. Little space to work in as well here for Julian Brandt. Now J02 to try to unlock Union again. Julian Rezon, the pullback here for Zabitzer. Your thoughts, Felix, on the Dortmund performance so far to this stage?
Right now it's really good because they're taking their time. You have the feeling that they're putting Union on the plate for a 3rd goal now. Over the course of the game, it was very slow in the first half. That one piece of brilliance from Couto and from Girassi opened the game up. Then they had to survive the first 10 minutes of Union, where they were really strong and they were very close to an equalizer. And with the 2nd goal, they've been in absolute control.
Walter's long ball here towards Illich, led by Rezon. Anton. Now Kani Chukwuemeka. Tall, elegant player. And now to Daniel Svensson. And he made 2 starts last season, Chukwuemeka, in his loan spell. Going to see, I think, a change with Union bringing on their homegrown midfielder Alyosha Kemline very shortly. This is Felix Mecha for Dortmund. Mecha in here for Zabitzer, and that's put away for the corner by Tom Horter. And the strappings are on, the ice packs are on. It's certainly been a tough first game for Anselmino. As I say, not much match practice for him up until today. Union's fans always keep the faith. On the corner, Svensson in front of those travelling Unioner. Svensson's corner towards Anton, and the shot electrifying. That is a rocket to make it 3-0, and Mecha onto that ball and unloads a shot.
Coño, carne Mecha apareció con un rifle.
3-0, and Mecha to seal the win in spectacular, thumping fashion.
And the delivery is there. It's a long ball, but as soon as you stick it into the box where you can fight for the ball, you can be there for the 2nd ball. And Mecha, he is reacting the quickest, and he goes for full power and he strikes it beautifully with a little bit on the outside of his foot, so it curls away from the goalkeeper. It's an absolute fabulous goal.
Girassi 2, Mecha 1, Dortmund 3, Union 0. And that is the win sealed for sure for Die Schwarz-Gelben. On the speed gun, by the way, that shot 118 km/h. That is fierce. Wow. Duki. Skaka for Kadira. Oh, Derek Cohen. Oliver Burke. Well, 6-0 here last season, 3-0 so far today. They've still to ever take a point here, will not lose a game in League and Cup. And again today they have been in the end put to the sword, but certainly in the first half and only the second half they more than matched for spells, Dortmund. So Kemline's on for Harbour. Here's Derek Kuhn meanwhile. There is Kemline. They brought through the academy. They have big hopes for him at Union Berlin. Harbour, the player who departs. Well, J02 has a problem here. Only made 8 starts last season, J02, but appears to be the first choice in that position for Kovac currently. Well, now we're going to see coming on Adeyemi and Gross. It's Union's corner, and the header down from Querfeld is caught by goalkeeper Kobalt. Anton. I think they're going to take off Girassi soon as well to give him a little breather. Anton. Bensabaini for Dortmund. Mecha. Oh, the back pass for Kobel will reach him in the end, but there was a little hesitation. Skaka. Tom Water on the ball for Union.
Con este resultado ya de momento no podemos subir más en la tabla.
Derek Kuhn. Kemline. Querfelds. Woo Yong Jong. Jong for Kemline. Now Derek Kuhn. On to Jong, who wants a free kick and will get the free kick as well here, the South Korean, against Julian Rezon. Dortmund shipped those 2 late goals to only draw their first game last week at the Milan Tour. They won't collapse here, though, from this position at this stage, surely. In here by Aljosha Kemline. It's a good one, too, towards Oliver Burke, who knows about comebacks here and scoring 3 goals late on, as in that win Werder Bremen did a couple of years ago. Chukwuemeka with a great burst away and just the ball out of play. So double change, 2 players named in the German national squad coming on for the games with Slovakia and Northern Ireland. It'll be Zabitzer making way for Gross, and Girassi will take his lead, having scored twice today, and these were those goals, Felix, and he was today terrific.
Yeah, the finish of the second goal is just fantastic. To keep that calm and just chip it in with actually no pace, it's just terrific to watch.
So Girassi on to 3 goals in this season's Bundesliga, plus a cup goal as well against Rot-Weiss Essen.
Más cambios. Sale Girassi, entra Adeyemi. Girassi que puede ser seguramente el man of the match.
Outstanding player, and votes are now open to be cast. Adeyemi. Here's Mecha. Gross. For Julian Rezon. Rezon battling away there with Kemline. Well, there is Girassi. As I say, got those 2 goals today, 4 when the sides met last, half that tally today, but again, maintains an amazing run of form. Since April, he has scored now 17 goals in only 15 appearances in all competitions.
And what is very important is with the signing of Fabio Silva that he doesn't have to play every game now from the first to the last minute.
Yeah, Fabio Silva not ready to play yet, on the bench as a spectator today, not named as a potential change, but arrived from Wolves on Friday for a handsome fee. Here comes Pascal Gross. Jan Koto. Reazon. Are there more goals here before we're done today? It's Metro got the 3rd. Pascal Gross has never scored a league goal in Dortmund colours. Reazon again, back to Pascal Gross. So 2 to play. And that win now, it appears, home and hosed for the Schwarz-Gelben. It'll be 4 points from their first 2 match days. Now Gross onto Mecha. Chukwuemeka combined there with Adeyemi. Derek Kuhn brought down there by Adeyemi. Free kick to Union Berlin. Duki. Now Jong for Oliver Burke, covered by Anton. Pascal Gross for Dortmund now. It's played out here by Svensson. It comes for Brandt. He has Adeyemi alongside. Now he is, if they get him away lightning quick, Adeyemi, here he is. Held up by Kverfeld. Anton. Chukwuemeka. Union, by the way, drawn to face last season's Cup finalists Armini Bielefeld in round 2 of the DFB Pokal. That draw's ongoing currently. Here's Tim Skarka for Union, dropped in towards Illich. The flick was meant for Kemline beyond him. As the clock nears 90 minutes, that's Kverfeld's header for Tom Rothe. You move into added time at the end of, and it's going to be Dortmund's first home win, first win of the Bundesliga season. Is there a consolation there for Union in those 4 minutes that remains? Here comes Alyosha Kemline. Kemline onto Woo Yong-jong. Derek Kuhn. Felix, your thoughts on Union's performance today? For long spells, they held their own and matched Dortmund in that first half especially.
For sure, they had a really good away game for 43 minutes. Then unlucky with a goal just in front of half-time. They came out really good in the second half with a good chance to get the equalizer. And after the second goal, it was very difficult to get back into the game. They tried to do it with the change of players, not changing the system. And after the second goal, it was Dortmund all over.
They still chase that consolation goal here. It's Kemline and Kverfeld on the free kick. It's left here for Leopold Kverfeld, who scored from this range, an open play in that game with Stuttgart last season. And there, that shot not quite, as we saw back in April, that last season goal of the Bundesliga season in the draw with Stuttgart last term.
But you can see it again here. They're fighting for the ball, and as a player, when he can run onto the ball, that is a great feeling. Then the bounce is perfect as well, and he connects so smoothly to it that it drifts away a little bit over the from the right side of his boot, so it curls away from the goalkeeper. Fantastic goal.
Well, Guirassy and Mecha, the players who have won the game today for Borussia Dortmund. Happiness up in the director's box. Headed by Duki towards Oliver Burke. Now Ilic. Oliver Burke again here. Burke's pass onto Duki as well up here from the centre-back's position. Wu Yong-jong. Burke. In by Jong. Ilic with a header.
And it's a good ball anyway, and Ilic, every high ball he's fighting for, he's there, he's been top in the air.
That cup draw has just given Dortmund a real mouth-watering game. It'll be away to Eintracht Frankfurt in round 2. Former team, of course, of Niko Kovac. Dortmund, who will go there in DFB Pokal round 2 in the autumn. Eintracht have won both their matches so far in the league this season, and we saw yesterday Litz Doan in tremendous form as well. He's just come in from Freiburg to join the Eagles. Here's Derek Cohen. Ilic given away to Rezon. Ben Sabini last, half minute of added time at Signal Iduna Park. Pascal Gross. Jan Koto. Is there one more goal before we're done this afternoon? Last 15 or so seconds of the 4 minutes. First win of the campaign is Dortmund's. Guirassy with a couple of goals, Mecha with a cannonball for the third to clinch things. Union gave 1 or 2 scares in the second half's early minutes, yes, but Guirassy again led the line with distinction and with goals. 2 more today for him. He was the main man. It ends here, Dortmund 3, Union Berlin 0. Well, Guirassy today, Felix, it was a masterclass of how a number 9 should play at this level.
He was absolutely outstanding, and even in the first half, where he only had 23 touches, you had the feeling that every time he had the ball, something opened up. This is why we said get more directly to him to get Dortmund into the game, and this is what they did, and he punished Union Berlin afterwards.
So 4 points on the board for Niko Kovac after 2 match days. In the wake of last week's collapse, let's be frank, at St. Pauli. Today, no such slips or stumbles. And the win, in the end, won in fairly regulation fashion. Stefan Baumgart's Union, they certainly played their part. First half, the long spells were well in the game. Began the second half well, but Dortmund's superior quality and finishing got the job done. Anselmin there too, the defender in his debut. Should talk about him as well today, because first game for the club from the start, and he, in that defensive 3, was magnificent.
Yes, and there's no better way to start at a new club with a game straight away. And then when you have a good game, lucky on one occasion, after that, really brilliant. This is the best way to start at a new club and get the confidence from your teammates as well.
Well, the winner of the man of the match vote, no great surprise, Serhou Guirassy, a whopping 81% of the vote. Maybe the day's least surprising decision. He has been named as your man of the match for his display and 2 goals today. As we said, a true number 9's masterclass from Dortmund's main man. Well, 3 goals in the league, 1 in the cup so far, to add to last season's 38 across all competitions. You can check now with the QR code the full result from today's man of the match vote. Won, as I say, no surprise, by Serhou Guirassy. Where do you see Union's season going, Felix? Obviously they won their first game, they've lost today, but under Baumgart they should be a team who should be okay and not get maybe pulled into any relegation danger.
Yeah, this is exactly what I think, especially when they play with the intensity and the work rate like they did today. They won't have any trouble staying in the league.
Well, Dortmund go to face the Gelbe Wand, the yellow wall. Of course, one or two players, it's a new experience, this. Among them, Joe Bellingham, his first home game here for the club today. Anselmino's debut, full stop. This is what it means to be a Dortmund player, to play in front of those fans in the good times and the bad. Fans and team in harmony, in unison. First home game of the season, a 3-0 win. That is a pretty good start for Borussia Dortmund here on home turf in the Bundesliga's 63rd season. So the first win of the season under their belts on home turf. Now they take the international break before they have an away game with Heidenheim next on the 13th of September. Only on that same day have a home game in Copenhagen with Hoffenheim. A chance to bounce back from today's setback for the Berliners in Copenhagen. But as we said, they today more than played their part. And that big chance, Illich at 1-0 down, had that gone into level, who knows, it could be a different game. But either way, today ends 3-0 for Dortmund. Union, after last week's win, today could not find their first ever points away to Borussia Dortmund. So Guirassy, decisive figure in today's game. And now we'll look through the highlights of Dortmund's first home game of the Bundesliga season, as they took on Union Berlin, who'd won their first game last week. And Guirassy in the first half, Felix, was a real menace, a proper handful. His movement was really dangerous all the way through.
Because he can give you everything. He can hold the ball up well, he can do deep runs, and this is why he's so dangerous.
And the first goal came before half-time. Great assist here by J02. And the strength in the middle of Guirassy was here really notable.
Fantastic 1-against-1 by Couto, and then with his weaker foot, that cross onto the perfect spot, and then Guirassy with a top-notch finish.
And that's his second league goal, having scored last week and missed a penalty at St. Pauli. Second half now. After a sluggish start to the half, Dortmund, as the half wore on, this a great combination. Maxi by Guirassy, and this goal is dripping in quality.
The goal is pure class. That flick, and now the 1-2, the weight of the pass from Bayer as well. And the finish is out of this world. Amazing goal.
Yeah, Guirassy with the brace. He got 4 when the sides met here back in February. Just the 2 today for him, for Niko Kovac's team. Himself born in Berlin, of course, Kovac. Making some new contract to the Dortmund head coach. His team at this stage 2 clear. There was a third goal, and this by Meche, hit with such power, Felix.
Yeah, it's an amazing goal as well, and it's technical, so clean, because he's ready for the second ball as well, and he comes in full sprint, full power, and to hit it like that is just beautiful.
On a speed gun, 118 kilometers an hour that shot was moving at. You don't stop those. We can now go pitchside to our reporter today, Jan Krebs, who is talking to the Union goalkeeper, Frederick Renaud.
Renaud, Union Berlin's goalkeeper, joining us. Thank you for coming. After a good start to take this heavy defeat at the end, so does it hurt a lot?
Yeah, I mean, I think especially first 15-20 minutes we were really good. Yeah, then they had more control at the end of the first half. Then they score a goal, a stupid goal on my side. Yeah, we come out second half. I think we have in the start we have 2 good chances where the goalkeeper is saving well. then they score 2-0, and then for me after the game it's dead after 2-0, and this is not good enough, to be honest, because like I think today we showed some good things, but after 2-0, yeah, it wasn't enough.
How tough is it to play Borussia Dortmund when they are 2 goals up?
Yeah, obviously too difficult. Like we have been struggling coming here, especially in my time here in Union. There was good things today, but there are for me also things we have to do better, especially when we play like a top opponent like this today. We have to be more brave with the ball. Of course, we have to be sharp in every situation in both ends, both penalty areas. Yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot for coming and all the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Renault on the losing side again here. So he's been here 5 times, lost all 5. These are the scores on match day 2. So wins this weekend the Hamburg derby for St. Pauli, and wins yesterday for Frankfurt, for Leipzig, for Stuttgart and for Bayern. That draw in Bremen with Leverkusen 3-3. Today's games, a win here for Dortmund, a draw between Wolfsburg and Mainz with Köln-Freiburg. That's underway now in the game to close match day 2. Okay, so the early season table, always a fun thing to look at. Bayern and Frankfurt lead the way. Dortmund now up in 3rd place in that run of teams on 4 points. St. Pauli, Wolfsburg and Köln, currently they're playing at the moment on 4 points as it stands. While at the bottom, the teams on 0 points, just the one, Heidenheim, who've lost both matches so far. They went down to Leipzig yesterday, 2-0, 2 great goals for Leipzig in that game at the Red Bull Arena on Saturday. Well, here again we had the Serhou Guirassy show. Another brace of goals for the red-hot Dortmund number 9. He stole the show and helped seal the win. It ends here for Dortmund, 3-0 winners over Union Berlin. From Felix Bastians and myself, Dan O'Hagan, it's goodbye and thank you for watching.
Bueno, señores, ya terminó. Vamos a cortar aquí el audio. Vamos a cortar el audio acá. Vamos a pasar. A ver, vamos a pasar a la ventana aquí. Bueno, después de esto, ya la transmisión de ESPN está activa, pero ya sin el comentarista, ya está todo dicho. Una entrevista más que están haciendo a un jugador del Union Berlin. Bueno, como lo dijeron casi todos los comentaristas en inglés, pero evidentemente esto es un canal en español, o así se quiere que sea. Y al ser en español, pues nada, vamos a decir lo que ellos de alguna manera ya comunicaron en habla anglosajona. La primera victoria de nuestro equipo, del Borussia Dortmund, en casa. La primera victoria de la temporada ante un Union Berlin. Bueno, las estadísticas hablan por sí solas. O sea, aquí pueden ver nada más la amenaza ofensiva, que fue brutal. Algunos destellos, como al principio del segundo tiempo y casi al final, ya cuando el Dortmund estaba relajado con los 3 goles encima. Vean la posesión, 65% de posesión. El Dortmund manejó el partido a placer, pero para mí sigue siendo un partido raro. La formación a mí no me termina de convencer. Esta alineación que está proponiendo Niko Kovac de 3, aquí FODMOP lo pone como un 3-4-2-1, pero realmente es un 3-2. Era un 3-4-2-2, ¿sí? No, bueno, olviden eso. Estamos en vivo. Lo que pasa es que Maximilian Bayer estaba a la misma altura de Guirassy. Estaban los dos en punta. Brandt estaba detrás de Guirassy y Svensson estaba detrás de Bayer. Era como un 3-3-2-2, algo así. O sea, es rara la formación, es rara. No me hagan caso en este particular que me volví un 8 contando. Nada, el jugador de partido, pues Guirassy con esos 2 goles. Couto se va con asistencia, Maximilian Bayer se va con asistencia. Aquí podemos ver, según los amigos de FOMOP, quién fue el jugador de partido. Según los aficionados de la Bundesliga, con 81% de los votos, también Guirassy fue el jugador del partido, el man of the match. Couto por la asistencia. Kobel, que se echó 2 paradas buenísimas el día de hoy. Fíjense que Anselmino, me gustó cómo defendió Anselmino hoy. Pueden ver el resto. Chukwuemeka, que entró, pero casi no tocó balón. Hay que ser justos, entró en el segundo tiempo. Nada, para mí, reitero, sigue siendo una formación rara, una formación extraña, una formación que no termina de conectar. Fíjense que el primer gol llega con un centro de Jan Couto por la derecha que empala muy bien Guirassy y la clava. El segundo gol fue más o menos de jugada, pero una jugada fortuita, porque ante un pase que le hacen a Guirassy, rebota en Bayer. Guirassy tiene la viveza de adelantarse al área y Bayer se la sirve, portero sale y se la pica a palo izquierdo. Bonito gol. Pero hubo algo de fortuna en esa jugada. Y el tercer gol, un centro, rechace, y vino carne mechada y nada. O sea, la clavó como deberían clavarla la mayoría de los futbolistas. Yo no sé por qué casi todos disparan es al portero. Carne mechada tuvo la probidad de tirarla a uno de los palos, al palo más lejano al portero. Yo no sé si lo evaluó, yo no sé si fue que le salió así, pero me gustó ese gol porque es como deberían hacerse los goles. Tirarlos al espacio vacío, tirarlos al espacio donde no esté el portero. Bueno, nada, es una victoria, una buena victoria que coloca al Dortmund en el tercer puesto. A falta ya del partido que se está jugando en este momento y que cierra la jornada entre el Colonia y el Freiburgo. El Colonia podría pasarnos, ¿sí?, en caso de ganar 3-0 o más, ¿ok? Porque al igual... No, miento, el Colonia podría pasarnos, porque en este momento tiene, con el partido jugándose en este momento, tiene 4 puntos, pero si gana tendrá 6. Es decir, nos mandaría al cuarto lugar en caso de ganar el Colonia. En caso de ganar el Freiburgo, pues tendría que hacer 5 goles para bajarnos de ese tercer lugar. Es decir, el empate no nos vendría mal en ese último encuentro para quedarnos ahí en ese tercer puesto. Y bueno, pueden ver los 10 primeros de momento con ese partido pendiente que se está disputando en este momento. Por supuesto, el Bayern de primero, el Frankfurt de segundo. Buenas par de victorias del Frankfurt. Nuestro Dortmund, con la victoria de hoy, se montó al tercero. Saint-Pauli, que también, al igual que nosotros, ganó. El Wolfsburgo, Colonia, Augsburgo, Stuttgart, Hoffenheim y el Unión Berlín, que cayó contra nosotros el día de hoy. Vamos a ver los partidos que se han disputado en la jornada 2. La jornada abrió el día de ayer. No, la jornada abrió este día. La jornada abrió el viernes con el Hamburgo y el Saint Pauli, como decíamos, ya ganando el Saint Pauli 2-0. De haber ganado el Saint Pauli 3-0, pues estaría con nosotros compartiendo puesto. El día de ayer, sábado, el Hoffenheim cae ante el Eintracht Frankfurt, que se mantiene en segunda posición, como ya comentamos. El RB Leipzig, después de haber empatado con nosotros, pues gana al Heidenheim, que va a ser nuestro próximo rival, dicho sea de paso. El Stuttgart gana en casa 1-0 al Mönchengladbach. El Verden empata con el Leverkusen, ya sin Xavi Alonso. El Augsburgo cae en casa, cuando no, contra el Bayern Múnich. Hoy los partidos que cierran la jornada: el Wolfsburgo empató con el Mainz, nuestro Borusia Dortmund 3-0 con el Union Berlin, y el partido que se está jugando en este momento ya va por el minuto 12 entre el Colonia y el Freiburgo. Nosotros, a ver, nuestro partner está desaparecido en acción. Yo creo que no quieres verle más la cara, pero de todas maneras aquí estamos. Nuestro próximo encuentro va a ser el día sábado 13 de septiembre contra el Heidenheim, como ya comenté, un equipo que de momento está bien abajo en la tabla. Evidentemente se debería ganar ese partido para seguir con esta racha. Y el martes 16 de septiembre empieza el camino en Europa, empieza el camino en la Champions League contra la Juve de visita. Duro, durísimo. Vamos antes de irnos, recordándoles que vamos a estar este sábado 13 de septiembre a las 9:30 transmitiendo. Vamos a ver rápidamente los equipos que nos tocaron. Vamos a verlo aquí en imágenes. Ok, aquí lo tenemos en imagen. Y ahí lo ven, debajo del Barcelona. El primer partido, como ya comenté, no, este no es. A ver, vamos a buscarlo por aquí. A ver, permítanme un momento. Vamos a buscarlo por aquí, aunque por aquí lo tenemos. Aquí lo tenemos, podemos verlo así. Podemos verlo acá. A ver. Podemos comentar rápidamente esto también. Se unió Fabio Silva, aunque lesionado. En teoría debería estar listo para mitad de este mes. Ya para entrar, es un delantero. Bien, aquí estamos. Como comentaba Fabio Silva, es un delantero. Me imagino que en esta formación que quiere terminar de aplicar Niko Kovac, donde hay dos puntas, pues en teoría Guirassy sería uno y este niño sería la otra punta. Y Anselmino, que hace 4 días se le dio su bienvenida al equipo y bueno, ya vieron que jugó el día de hoy con un buen partido. Partido de 7.5 puntos. Acá el regreso de Chuemeca, que también entró hoy. Vamos a ver si acá... por cierto, esto se viene, esto es en octubre, el Frankfurt. Segunda ronda del Apocal. Ya se definió también el rival que nos va a tocar. Aquí estamos. Aquí está. Esto es lo que les quería enseñar. Nada, está la fase de grupos de la UEFA Champions League. Vamos a enfrentarnos el martes contra el Inter Milan. En casa. Aunque acá primero viene es la Juve. La Juve de visita. Eso es lo que nos vamos a enfrentar. Por eso es que esto, yo creo que aquí lo vemos mejor. ¿Sí? La Juve de visita. Después nos va a tocar el Athletic Club de Bilbao, el 1 de octubre. El Copenhagen de visita. El Manchester City de visita, durísimo partido. Ese sí va a ser duro partido. Villarreal en casa. El Bodo Glimt en casa. Tottenham de visita. Y el Inter para finalizar. Yo creo que no nos tocó tan duro esta ruta. Yo creo que Dortmund le puede hacer buen partido a la Juve. Yo creo que se le puede sacar el empate a la Juve. Esos próximos 2 partidos se pudieran ganar contra el Athletic en casa y el Copenhagen de visitante. El del City, pues, disculpe un momento. Bien, aquí estamos, disculpe. Bien, nos quedamos en el partido del City, que va a ser durísimo. Con un empate ahí yo creo que sacamos petróleo. Villarreal se le debería ganar. El Bodo Glimt se le debería ganar. Ambos en casa. El Tottenham. Miren, yo estoy convencido que se le puede ganar al Tottenham. Y el Inter en casa también se le debería ganar. Entonces, como les digo, yo creo que la ruta, siendo esperanzador, pues nos puede meter en la siguiente fase perfectamente. Bueno, nada, ya hemos repasado más o menos todo lo que ha acontecido. De hecho, vimos los fichajes nuevos. Aquí está ya el 3-0 del día de hoy. Nada, como les comentaba, quedamos entonces para el sábado 13 de septiembre, 9:30 de la mañana, hora de Venezuela, para compartir la transmisión de el Heidenheim Borusia Dortmund. Eso es todo. Gracias a los que estuvieron allí.